Arrivederci. Hey man, as promised, here is us making a little video of the car. Not as keen as I would have wanted to be, but as you can see over there, we have some serious construction going on. So that's kind of limiting in how clean we can keep the cars. As second we take it out of the showroom, it gets dusty. Anyway, hopefully it doesn't show too bad in video. First thing I like to do is just to take a quick spin around the car. Just follow me, Colin. Just, you know, like we did yesterday, just pan around. You obviously know it's a 71 camper, pretty rare, very well done, great color combination. That's fine. You might notice that the hubcaps on this side are different than the hubcaps on the other side. The new hubcaps are, and the correct ones are in the car, just waiting to get installed. We haven't gotten around to do that yet. You know that it has an upgraded 1800cc engine. We'll start it later so you can hear it. And when we first got the vehicle, I believe I told you, it was all white. It was in great shape, but it was a lot of white. So we went ahead and painted the bottom part red. I think it looks spectacular. And I had a customer back then when we first had it that was seriously considering buying it, and he was going to have some stencils made that would have said, like an old font, Porsche service. Because this is what they used back in the day at Porsche dealerships for service, and I think that would be really, really cool if it's something you're into. Anyway, we walked around the car once. Let's take a quick look at the inside. New door panels, new hardware, new controls, new mat, new seat covers. Everything looks absolutely great. And you know, let's also keep in mind that this was a work vehicle. It was not, you know, somebody's prized possession at any given time until recently. So this thing has lived an easy life. I think it shows very well. We'll get to sit in it in a second. Actually, why don't you go around and I'll show them a couple things. Might want to put the handbrake on just for safety. Everything is stock, very beautifully done. Let me close the door real quick. The radio is an original style Blaupunkt, but it's not operational. We left it there for looks. I don't believe this is even in the description because this is something we did to the car when we sold it last time. So what we did, we went ahead and put a hidden modern radio in the glove box. So you can have, this is Bluetooth, CDs, MP3s, auxiliary, so you can have modern tunes. Long story short, this is a very common thing we do, and it's about keeping the original looks, but getting the modern results. I don't know if you can come in here. Small stuff that I like to point out is the light comes on when you open the door. That might seem trivial, but it's not. There's, you know, there's a bulb, there's light, there's wiring, there's a sensor. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Here you can see the hubcaps, as I mentioned before. All the weather stripping is brand new. The glass is flawless. There's not a chip, not a crack. The headliner is nice. You know, luckily on these vehicles you can still find pretty much every replacement part because they have a cult following. And come back forward, please, and shoot it down here. Just to see how, like, it wasn't just sprayed on the outside, it was done right. Everything is new, electrical system, wiring, vacuum system. It's just really, really clean. On that note, I'm coming around. I want to show you also, you know, stuff that you want to check where water tends to collect. The bottom of the doors, they're very nice and clean. I have gloves on because it's pretty cold here today. Same thing with the cab. All the corners, you can still see the factory welding. This thing, I'm not sure exactly where it came from. Oops, sorry, a little bit of dirt. But it definitely didn't live a bad life, and it was definitely not a car that was rusted out at any point of its life. Let's look at this too. Just get the corners and I can like run around the cab. Rims have been sanded, repainted, new trim rings. I said new hubcaps ready to get installed. You can see, maybe shoot from up here. The bed painted just the same. Nice exhaust. Actually has a good rumble. I'll start in a second. Engine bay. This is upgraded aluminum engine. Downdraft carbs. And you can see back behind the fenders, no sign of rot. It's just really clean. Okay. One key opens all the doors. One key starts the car like it should be, not like a mix and match of a bunch of keys. Let me close these. Windows all roll up and down. Doors close nice and solid. Actually, I didn't close that one all the way, but we'll get to it. As you know, these come down. I'll just show you one just so you can see it. Flip this down. And you, whoops, it's flying away. You have basically, you can do, you know it, I'm sure you do, but this side comes down, that side comes down, and becomes completely flat. It's very versatile. Back in the day when I did some research about the car, they were used for anything from being fire trucks, and there goes my description, all the way to being used in airports to get the ladders close to the airplanes. I guess we can start it. Cold day, brisk and beautiful. Should make for a happy engine. You can actually stay back there and just get the exhaust note if I can find the keys. There we go. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
So, sorry, a little audio blip there. I was saying that this is a cold engine. It idles beautifully. So I'm not going to go too crazy on the throttle, but just because it is a cold, air-cooled engine, and in general, you shouldn't do it. But it is beautifully done. It is, I wouldn't say super rare, but these up until very recently weren't high dollar vehicles, so people typically don't spend this kind of amount in a restoration, or actually they do now, but you know, if this was a 69 Camaro, people would have started spending money on them 20 years ago. This takes a little bit longer took a little bit longer to get into its own. It is now very cool, and there's also a whole lot less of them on the road. Couple modern touches, a little bit of upgraded engine, upgraded stereo, but still very much true to its original nature. And I think it's well done. It's a cool vehicle, and I think that our little red half paint job really does bring out the style of this thing, and it's mad cool. I hope you like it.